Hello, welcome to Dorm Room Discussions. I'm Joshua Gingrich. As you can probably tell, my set has been moved due to being sent home after COVID-19 spikes at JMU. For the foreseeable future, episodes will be filmed here. Think of it as like an alternative reality, or a collapse of the space part of the space-time continuum. Today's episode will be short, and I want to talk about September 11th. Today's episode is premiering on the 19th anniversary of the tragic day, and I want to talk about how sports were impacted by 9/11 and how it is remembered nearly 2 decades later. The attacks forced this temporary shutdown of MLB, NFL, and college football around the nation as the country went into a state of mourning and fear. There was concern over the 2002 Winter Olympics being held in Salt Lake City due to another threat of an attack in a major city. However, the Olympics still went on. That ESPN and other sports networks, suddenly found themselves without content also. So they focused on how sports were being impacted by the attacks. As sports returned, there was a lot of fear about having thousands of people in an enclosed area, as it seemed prime for another terrorist attack. Thankfully, nothing happened. During the games, multiple tributes were held around the leagues. Many American flags were used, including Chicago Cubs outfielder Sammy Sosa, who waved one as he rounded the bases after a home run. In the first sporting event held in New York City after the attacks, Mets on September 21st, Mets catcher Mike Piazza hit a 2-run homer to give the Mets a 3-2 victory over the Braves. It was one of the first opportunities for New Yorkers to laugh and smile since the attack. And little over a month later, President George W. Bush threw a first pitch strike before Game 5 of the World Series at Yankee Stadium. And due to the attacks, which delayed the entire MLB season by about a week, the World Series was held in the month of November for the first time, which led to Derek Jeter's nickname, Mr. November. 19 years later, so since then, 9/11 gets memorialized every year around sports, particularly by the Mets and the Yankees, who, by being in New York City, were most impacted by the attacks. Every year, there are moments of silence before the games, along with special tributes such as wearing NYPD hats or fire department hats. Last season, Mets first baseman Pete Alonso got every Mets specialized cleats commemorating those who were impacted by the tragic events. And in 2016, when Piazza was inducted into the Hall of Fame, his home run on September 21st was the only home run he mentioned. So as we can see, 9/11 is still an event that is deeply core to the sports world. This has been Dorm Room Discussions. I'm Joshua Gingrich. Have a nice night.